Now to a glimpse inside the turbulent world of Charlie Sheen. One of his so-called goddesses, Bree Olson, is speaking out about her time living there with Sheen and what really happened inside that mansion. And ABC's Dan Harris sat down with Olson.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. Her name is Rachel Oberlin by birth. She's a girl who grew up in the cornfields of Indiana, changed her name to Bree Olson, became a porn star, and then became one of Charlie Sheen's goddesses. And now she says the behind-the-scenes reality was quite different than what they presented publicly at the time. When we first met her, she was part of the trio at the heart of Charlie Sheen's bizarro world Ozzie and Harriet situation.
These are my girlfriends. These are the women that I love that have completed the three parts of my heart.
Bree Olson, a porn star, was one of Sheen's so-called goddesses, alongside Natalie Kenley, a one-time marijuana model.
Natty and Charlie have their own special connection. I have my own connection with Charlie, and then Natty and I also have our own relationship.
But even though they portrayed it as close-knit and kinky, behind the scenes, it was anything but. Was it a tense environment then, in the home?
At times.
Between the two of you, the women, not you and Charlie.
It was like you could cut the air with a knife sometimes. I felt like I couldn't show Charlie the affection and the love that I wanted to show him because of how she would react.
It seems crazy to everybody else, but for us, I mean, it works well. And we all love and respect each other and respect each other's boundaries.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. I think she was trying to convince herself that it was great. But, I mean, she was crying, like, every day. She was really upset about it.
So how did a farm girl from Fort Wayne, Indiana, end up as part of this love triangle? It all started when she was a 19-year-old pre-med student. What got you interested in the adult movie business?
It's something I'd always been interested in. I've always been very insatiable sexually.
5 years later, she was one of the most popular and highly paid porn stars in America, which is how she met Charlie Sheen, who had a long-running interest in adult film stars. What did you like about him?
He made me laugh like just every other thing he said. He doesn't have a regular, how's the weather conversation, you know?
They started dating almost right away. She says she was aware of the reports of Sheen's violence, allegedly holding up a knife to his ex-wife Brooke Mueller and then trashing a hotel room with another porn star in it. But she says she figured it was all tabloid misrepresentation. But were you not concerned that there might be even a kernel of truth to it and that maybe you were putting yourself in a dicey situation?
I believe that from most rumors there's some truth, but I did not get that vibe from him whatsoever.
Have you ever seen him behave in a violent way?
No, I've never seen Charlie behave violent in any situation.
You've never been in a situation where you felt personally scared or threatened?
No.
Olson also swears up and down that she has never seen Sheen do drugs, even when she moved into his home in February. What did surprise her, she says, was Natty. So you moved in, and as you're moving in, you find out that there's another woman living there too?
On the ride over there, his assistant Rick says, do you know about, did Charlie tell you about Natty? And I was like, who? And he was like, oh. And then I get to the house, and there she is standing in the kitchen. And she did not look too happy to see me there with my bags.
1 week after she moved in, the war between Sheen and the creator of 2.5 Men began. And during all of those interviews with the talk of tiger blood, warlock brain, and bi winning,
I am on a drug. It's called Charlie Sheen.
Olson and Natty watched smilingly from the couch. A lot of people saw those interviews that he did and thought, this guy appears to be psychologically unbalanced.
He would still talk the truth of stuff, but at the same time he was just cracking so many jokes because he was just bored. He was just relaxed and trying to have fun, and people that don't know him, they just don't get it.
Even during those incomprehensible webcasts?
Where the worms of freedom have all gone insane, I plucked them or sucked them from the heart of my brain.
Maybe that was his way of venting or getting stress out, stress relief, because I was with him almost every time of the day, and he seemed perfectly kosher and fine to me.
The memory that stings the most from that period, she says, is the uproar over the goddesses caring for Sheen's 2 young sons.
That is so absurd that, oh, a porn star is not capable of being around children. Just because I've chosen to do what everyone else does in this whole entire world on camera does not make me ineligible to be around children.
Olson stayed with Sheen through the beginning of his disastrous tour, but then she says the pressures of the road and the meddling of Natty led her to leave. These days, she's on the cover of the most recent Playboy magazine, but even though she's single now, you will not catch her saying anything negative about Charlie Sheen. You're pretty fiercely protective of him.
I always will be. He's like, I always felt like he's just, I see like little Charlie in him, you know? Like I see like little boy Charlie that I just want to protect from like the world that's after him.
Little boy Charlie. So what's next for Bree Olson? She insists she's trying to get out of the porn business and that she's going to spend the next year trying to cross over into mainstream acting. And if she fails at that, she says she wants to get married and have kids. She is still, by the way, in touch with Charlie, and she is most definitely not in touch with Natty. I should add that we reached out to Natty and she did not want to comment.
But she really doesn't want to talk that much about Charlie.
It's fascinating because you're sitting with this young woman. She is so candid, so free in her speech about almost everything. But when you talk about Charlie Sheen, she really toes the line. She does not say anything negative about him except for admitting he may have made some mistakes along the way.
But then again, who hasn't?